A lot of philosophers nowadays are interested in bullshit.
I'm telling you, we are in the revelation days.
No, not that kind of bullshit.
The moon is 100% absolutely not spherical, and any lunar eclipse proves it.
No, that's also not what we mean.
Could the grounds grounding the grounded ground the grounded?
Well, we have to admit they are also interested in that kind of bullshit too much. But in this episode, we want to talk about bullshit of a different kind. Something that you probably didn't know philosophers are genuinely interested in. Just think of the first person that comes to your mind when you think of someone who's always bullshitting. You probably don't think that he or she is a notorious liar. Neither do philosophers. But then what is bullshit anyway if not lying? As it turns out, bullshit is more interesting of a phenomenon than you might have thought. The American philosopher Harry Frankfurt has been especially keen in the concept of bullshit. In a small book with a fitting name, On Bullshit, he took a closer look at what distinguishes an honest person, a liar, and a bullshitter. Politicians are prime examples of these differences. Some people in politics may be honest most of the time, but many will blatantly lie to achieve their political goals. This is not okay, of course. But as Frankfurt says, liars are at least playing the same game as honest people. The point is that liars as well as honest people are interested in the facts, whether they would like to deceive you about them or bring them to light. But the bullshitters, Frankfurt says, are playing their own game. They are not even interested in the facts. They don't care whether what they say is true or false. They will say whatever helps them with their political goals or makes them more charismatic. Thoughts about factfulness or truth are completely beside the point. Take the example of Donald Trump. If you happen to like Trump, you can easily replace the example, but his example works really well to illustrate the nature of bullshitting. Trump has no problem changing his mind completely when the political climate changes. He doesn't feel the slightest tension about completely ignoring something he said the day before. And one reason this works so seamlessly for him is that he doesn't even bother to know the facts. Probably he does not even assign significance to matters of fact. He just winds his way from interview to interview and from one press conference to the next. And he only cares about the current political climate and which assertions will help him the most with getting the economy and potential voters on his side. Typically, liars are considered particularly despicable in politics, but Frankfurt argues that bullshitters are a greater enemy of the truth than liars. According to him, this is because liars must at least pay attention to the facts. Yes, they decide to actively oppose the facts for their own benefit, but they at least acknowledge them as having a certain significance. Bullshitters don't care. They have no interest whatsoever in the facts, only in promoting their own interests. Bullshitters seem particularly dangerous at a time when the concept of fake news is widespread. They do not care whether a newspaper headline criticizing their policies or conduct is actually false. Their only interest is to denounce it as false, regardless of whether it is true or not. Bullshit is everywhere, not just in politics. Companies are bullshitting, newspapers are bullshitting, the church is bullshitting, advertisers are bullshitting, YouTubers are bullshitting, teachers are bullshitting, scientists are bullshitting, your neighbor is bullshitting, and you too have probably bullshitted before. Our job as attentive people who are genuinely interested in the truth is to give our best at distinguishing lies and bullshit from honest statements. Often, a helpful way to do this is to ask not what the particular individual says, but to ask what the general agreement in the community is. Spotted a scientist making a bold claim, check what the consensus in the scientific community is. A media outlet reporting an incredible story, check what other media outlets have to say. Trump rambling on Twitter again? Well, that's probably bullshit. If you like to avoid bullshit as much as we do, why don't you subscribe to our channel? Our videos are a bullshit-free zone. We are way too enthusiastic about calling that nonsense out. Just click subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss a video. If you agree that bullshit needs special attention, please don't forget to like. It really helps us out. Feel free to discuss in the comments below and let us know if there's a concept which you would like to see us explain. Goodbye and until next time.